So, the number one skill I suggest for parents of people with BPD or any kind of loved ones of people with BPD, but especially parents, is to validate their feelings. Let me be more clear about that. Validate their feelings, not necessarily what they're accusing you of, like actually treat their emotions as real and valid and communicate to them that you are committing to understanding their feelings and their perspective. Try to understand their world better. That means asking questions. That means saying, like, tell me more about that. Help me understand the pain. Help me understand why you're upset with me. Um, Walk me through it. I really want to understand what you're feeling and how you see this, right? The reason why this is so important is that what I'm seeing with these older parents with kids who are dysregulated is they are they've gotten to a place where they're so frustrated, understandably, so frustrated, so traumatized, so hopeless that they are just like, I just want something specific for my kid, and I want them to know how what I think is best for them, and want them to know how I feel about them. Um, Often this looks like when parents are estranged from their kids with BPD, which is really common, right? They're like either so close, texting every day, talking about everything, talking about emotions, or no, like I'm not speaking to you, mom or dad. And so then the parents get so, they're in their heads all the time thinking about their kid. They're so upset by this. Like the idea of not talking to a child when it feels devastating. Like I can't even imagine if my son decided to not speak to me, how painful that would be. Oh God. And now being a parent and seeing how much work it actually is, it's like it's pretty painful. However, I think it looks like kids are doing that a lot, and I've done this too with my parents. When there doesn't feel like there's space for them, where they don't feel heard or listened to or treated with equal respect and agency. They don't It's like when the parents don't treat them as their own individuals. Um, that's when kids start to retreat and start to block off contact because they're like, I don't feel like a person in this, and it just brings up terrible feelings in me, and it doesn't bring out the best side in me. Um, and so I think that the mistake that older parents might make is they double down. They'll be like, well, how do I get my kid to talk to me so I could tell them how much I love them and how I think they need treatment? Eh, or they think that I abuse them or cause them trauma growing up, and I got to tell them like how much I did for them instead. I got to convince them that I actually was loving them and did the best that I can. Totally makes sense, right? It's like it totally makes sense to want to reconnect with a kid and tell them how much you love them and the good intentions you have for them. However, if you're thinking, I want to talk to my kid because I want them to hear me, then that's exactly the problem. That might be the thing that you're doing so much um, that that kid might not feel heard or seen. And you're like, wait a minute, but they're like, all I do is think about them and they're so upset all the time and I pay attention to their feelings. Like, yeah, that's true. But they're communicating when they're dysregulated, when they're screaming and that's a different state than like, and what you want to, um, and not necessarily what you want to listen to and reinforce than if they are telling you how they feel or if they, share their perspective. And the way to do that on your end is to validate their feelings. Start with questions. Start with saying, like, if your kid is like screaming at you or, yeah, it's like, listen, I'm feeling this. It's like, please, I understand. I see that you're really upset and I hear you. Please tell me more about that so I can really understand what's going on. Um, or what does that make you feel? Or tell me more about what this is like for you. I like that phrase. Tell me more about what this is like for you. because it just says, "Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna sit next to you and look at the view from your perspective." That in itself does so much, and I think parents, especially boomer parents, skip over that.